But this is definitely a yarrow. So what do we do with this? We cut it down. It's a perennial. It's going to come back up again. You don't have to worry about it damaging the plant. We're going to hang it upside down and dry it. After it dries, we're going to grind it up, save it as a powder. Then if you have a wound that's bleeding, cut yourself shaving or something, you put it on and it stops the bleeding. So there we have a very useful plant. Yarrow. When people list plants that you should know in the wild for excuse me, survival use, a lot of people will put yarrow up in the top 10. So there you go. Okay, now we're going to harvest our yarrow. We're not going to pull it up because they probably don't want to grow it in here, but I'm going to assume that I'm not going to damage the plants. So I'm just going to cut it at the base. I know the person, my friend here, when I said something about yarrow, she says, yeah, it stinks. So I don't think she's going to mind me stealing her yarrow plants here. There's some young ones coming up. There's a few larger ones over. Oh, this one more. See, I'm weeding for blueberries. I'll tell her. There were all of these funny plants growing up, and I weeded it for you. Now, how can we tell this isn't a carrot leaf? Well, number one, it's not branched like a carrot leaf. You can see that this has one stem running up the leaf, and then all these little things coming off of it. This was attached directly to the stem. Okay, and if you look at carrots, you'll see that they're distinctly different. And if you were ever to wonder, you would pull one of these up and smell the root, and it's wild carrot is going to have the very distinctive carrot smell of the root. Plus, when they're flowering, most people call them Queen Anne's lace, and you can't eat them that second year. They're a biennial. They're way too tough to eat that second year. So if they've got flowers, you can't use them, but it's still good to look at the flowers so you can identify the plant, because you can look around to find some first year plants that aren't flowering. Hi, there just happens to be a bunch of wild carrots here too, so we're going to contrast them with the yarrow. Number one, let's look at the flower head, and we'll get some of the leaves too. Here we have the wild carrot flower head. You can see it's a distinctive umbrella shape. All of the little branches that are carrying the flower heads are coming out from a central point. You've got these little kind of like sepals under them, I guess, leaves from the flower. But then let's take a look at the leaves themselves. See, these leaves are opposing, and they branch out into these leaves, but you can see how much more body there is to the leaves compared to the yarrow we looked at. So there should be no mistaking it once you've identified the two. And like I say, there'd be no point in pulling these up and trying to eat the root, because in the scheme of things, the plant spent the first year building up the root, and then the second year it's all about producing the branches and the flower head. So at this point the root is being depleted and it's going into the flower head. Now if we were to look through here, most likely we could find a first year plant that has the leaves on it but doesn't have a flower head, and that would be okay to pick. Personally, so far I must admit, in my wild carrot adventures, I've never picked a root that was something that I would go back and say, I'm going to pull a bunch of these and make something to eat. I've seen pictures of huge carrot roots, wild carrot roots that some people have gotten. The carrots aren't orange either, they're whitish. And I just haven't come across any yet. So, yet to be found, I guess.